She's working on it.
Okay.
I'm gonna make a scent
Got
just
that
for
arrangement
you.
with the
Called
doctor.
Fresh morning pea.
Oh my.
Yes. Absolutely.
Make your skin soft and subtle. Subtle.
Supple.
Moisturize.
Subtle.
Moisturizing.
And subtle.
How you do it.
Okay.
Make you a shaving cream with that.
Ooh.
Really? Okay.
Fresh morning pea shaving cream.
Fresh morning pea shaving.
You know what they should do? They should. It's all about you, Tonya. But they should make. Not that.
Don't knock it till you try it.
But you know how they have the cooking shows where they give you a basket of ingredients
Yes.
and you have to come up?
Yes.
We should give y'all a basket of ingredients and you come up with a body shellacking.
Yeah.
Okay. It'll have.
Make sure
morning
we gotta have
some water,
oven
some oatmeal,
a blender.
Oatmeal sounds good.
Yes, oatmeal.
some pussy willow, pixie tail, plum bobs in it. And you have to use all the ingredients
Okay.
to come up with something.
I'm down for that.
Okay.
She's like, but do it have to work? I can mix it, but this is supposed to.
I'm not gonna sell it though.
And we'll get Tonya to be able to sample it so
She'll
we
be
can
the
rub it on
judge.
her.
Ooh.
You'll be
And
the
then
judge.
she could see if it works well on her skin.
Lucky me.
Absolutely.
So now that we have our contestants, tell us who you are and when your radio show airs.
I am Lovely Red from Lovely Red's Creations. My show is Moments with Lovely Red Creations, Natural Body Products. My show airs on Sundays at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can reach me at Facebook, Lovely Red's Creations, or my Instagram, Hasty, Lovely Red's Creations.
Thank you. And we have.
And I am Jessica the Alchemist. My radio show is Alchemist and Etc. Radio, which airs on Saturday mornings at 7:30 Eastern Standard Time. You can reach me on my website, www.alchemistsoapsetc.com. That is spelled ALCHEMIST, soaps with an SETC.com.
And if you have problems, just ask Siri. Or Alexa Echo.
Yeah,
they all help as well. Or
Alexa.
Google. Yeah.
Alexa.
And you are?
I am Tonia Blackwood. My radio show is Mindset Moments, where we're going to be talking about the science and the soul of the mindset, how important it is. And it airs on Sunday, 9:30 a.m. Eastern Time.
Excellent.
And I'm really looking forward to having some fun with the listeners and bringing in some guests periodically so we can have a great time talking about what makes you
Think.
Yeah.
What makes that little noggin of yours?
Yeah, and
Either
why you make the
jiggle jangle.
decisions you do. Where are they
Why have I
rooted?
made the decision to sit here
I don't know.
and
Maybe it was
interview
the
these
supple,
amazing people?
butter that you had before we started, maybe?
It didn't get me out the house though. I didn't get it till I got here.
I know why.
Why? Why am I
Because
here?
you want to see us succeed and do great things.
Oh, I love that.
That's a motivator.
She wants us to be great.
When I do my personal classes, I tell my people, God wakes me up, but y'all get me out of bed.
Oh, that's awesome. I
So
like that.
literally, for people to make the sacrifices, because sometimes I have a 5 a.m. or 6 a.m. class, and if you're going to commit to that, how can I bring you anything less?
I'm not.
Then she said, I'm not.
I'm with you.
She's like, oh, I can learn at a regular hour of the day.
Videotape it and send it to me.
Yeah, definitely.
But I operate in multiple time zones.
Okay.
So for those that work 9 to 5 or 8 to 7 or whatever, I'm like, hey, this is where I'll be. This is what I have going on. This is what I'm doing. And they're like, I'll be there.
That's great.
So, yeah. But I do want to see you all succeed. I love the success of anybody, but especially those of diverse backgrounds and ethnicities, to be able to rise above the stigma of what has been delivered so that our youth can see the examples that we once saw in the Martin Luther Kings and we read about in the Harriet Tubmans and we, have been taught about of the children of Israel. I mean, as far back as you can go, there have been people that have been overcoming. So,
And then we woke up and we realized that people suck.
should have known.
Oh,
Please tell me about his mindset. Because clearly he's coming from a different purview.
Not everybody is going to be successful.
No.
Not everybody is going to be great. The poor will always be among us, and
Yes.
that is poor thinking, stinking mindset. And people sometimes try to want more for you than you want for yourself.
Yeah,
That's true.
That's so true. We kind of project our expectations on other people instead of focusing on ourselves. And each one of us has a different definition of successful.
That's right.
So it's not fair for us to put that on someone else. As a coach, you should understand where the mindset of your individual, that person in front of you, is before you start talking about what success is for them, because it may vary very, very deeply
Right.
from what you perceive
Does
success
that
is.
statement validate for parents and their children, though?
Oh, I would say most definitely. I would say most definitely, because that's a time when you see children struggling with identity because they're striving to be either perfect because of what their parents represent, or in this age of social media, they see the fake real of other lives and determine that that's the reality they want to live, which puts a lot of pressure on them.
That
Well,
is
how
true.
do you help them find, where is the balance? There's a balance being a coach, a consultant, success coach, whatever that is, and helping someone identify their roles and responsibility of what their success looks like. Same thing with the parent. And I take, for example, Will and Jada Smith.
Right.
They decided to be very hands-off and let their children explore life. And I recently saw an interview where he said, I think we let them have too much. Like, we went too far. We went overboard because of the things that their
Now it's
children
playing
are
out
doing now. Right,
in
right.
reality,
So
yeah.
how can a parent and a coach define there's potential in you, there's greatness in you, but you've been surrounded by this economic challenge that makes you think you can't accomplish it, or you've never been spoken to in belief in life pouring into you. So my mom always said you can't want more for somebody than they want for themselves. But at the same time, if I've never seen better, how do I even know that I'm worthy or can accomplish better?
Yeah.
How do you find the place of where you push past that? Or do you just work with the mental? Or do you just give them a Jada and Will and be like, you know what, be who you're going to be?
You want to speak to that?
Yeah.
I'll piggyback.
Balance obviously is key because as a parent, you have to provide structure, you have to provide guidance, you have to provide boundaries.
Yes.
There's freedom
There you go.
in the framework. So you can be
I
free,
like that.
Yes.
but there's a framework that you have to stay within because there's
That's so
certain things
true.
we just not going to
So
do.
true.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So
right.
as long as they understand that, this is your playground, but it don't leave this table.
Right.
So you can't go over there, you can't go over there. But in here, this is safe
This is
zone.
how it is.
Right.
Yes.
And you can be as creative as you want to be, but within these boundaries.
That is so key.
And I think if a person recognizes that, then they can be the best versions of themselves without abusing the privilege of being free.
Yeah.
Are you stifling that freedom when they attempt to be creative and instead you say, we're not going to do that? Jaden Smith wore a dress with flowers. You can be creative, but I don't understand if anyone ever got to the heart of why does this speak creativity to you? Are you doing it for the attention, or is this a creative side? And now how can I help cultivate this? Because this is what this is expressing. For me, when I saw it, there was no rhyme or reason behind it. It was just, now I'm just doing something. Now I'm just going to do a bunch of haberdashery for whatever reason.
And I think that's where the conversation comes in. Because it's important to have an open line of communication to make sure that you're doing things for the right reason. Because sometimes people do things to act out.
Right.
Because something is happening over here that shouldn't be happening, so you're acting out over here, so you're wanting to make a mockery or a scene of something. So I think
Right.
it's important to have the open line of communication so that if you're going to do something, you clearly know why you're doing it.
Right.
So that you're doing it for the right reasons.
I think that that's a valid point. I think that the mistake that we make is that we don't address those behaviors and we allow that freedom to just continue instead of, in plain English, checking them on their mess. Before it gets too late.
Right.
If there are no boundaries, then they're way outside
Right.
and they've never been questioned before.
Right.
So all of a sudden now you want to ask me questions. You told me to be creative. Here's where I am.
Right.
But also now that's why there's therapy happening at a table for the world to see.
I think that when you have children, it's vital to understand that they're all different. There are no two that's going to be alike, and they're not you. They're never going to be you. They are who they were born to be.
And let them be that.
So you allow them to explore who they are coming up. Yes, you put those rules in place. You put those boundaries in place. You know, you have you can do this and you can't do that. You have to have that guidance, or they're just doing things without purpose. So if they're doing things without purpose, then they're going to be out there. But a parent has to be the parent. They have to take their job serious. This is a job when you're a parent.
It's an assignment.
An assignment.
You are called to.
Yeah,
Because jobs sometimes pay back.
Yes.
This assignment, it is.
Well, really, it's a gift from God.
It is.
It
When you
is,
have
and
a
that's what I'm
child,
saying.
it's a gift.
Yeah.
So because it's a gift, it's your responsibility to take care of the gift, cultivate
Right.
the
That's
gift,
right.
and not to re-gift it, but
That's I give a lot of kudos to a family that's willing to put their stuff out there like that too, regardless of what color the table is. To say, okay, here's where we erred. Let's talk about that so that the ones that come behind us don't make the same mistakes. And we can get better.
But you have to be a parent that's willing to have open line of communications.
Yeah.
To have that, let's have this sit down conversation. In my house, when my kids were growing up, we had Saturday conversation. And as long as you were respectful, you could say whatever you want to say. You could express how you felt. Did I do something to you this week that you didn't like? Yeah, you know, or you did something this week that I wasn't good with.
That is
you know,
so good.
so
we called it Amnesty Day in my house, where
Amnesty
you
Day.
had amnesty for this day, where at the dinner table you get to confess.
Right.
And no matter what it is that you
Really?
did, no negative consequences. You're not going to get beat. You're not going to get punished. You're not going to get bread and water. You're not going to stand on one foot in the corner.
Kneel on rice.
Kneel on rice.
It
There
is
was
amnesty.
none of that going on in
Go
my
ahead
house.
and share, and we'll work through it.
But when you have that with your kids, then there's nothing that they're not going to come to you with. You know, I have 4 boys, 1 girl, and when I tell you those boys come to me with, I'm like, hey, you want to call your daddy?
I don't even know that.
I know the answer, but you know better talking to your dad. You know, but it's good to be able to have your kids that they can come to you with anything and not be afraid to talk to you about things. You know, to have that open communication. Because nowadays you got kids that are afraid to talk to their parents, tell their parents what's going on.
And they're struggling
This is
and
why you
acting
end up
out.
with all this thing happening in the background. You have all these unwanted pregnancies. You know, you have drug use because kids are getting bullied at school instead of them being able to say, "Mom,"
because
you
they
know,
can't speak.
kids are picking on me. Help me. You know, a lot of kids don't have that. So
And even if it's not the parent, as the parent, you have to make sure if I'm not around, there's Uncle
Right.
Reba,
Yes, position your child for
there's
success.
Auntie
Right.
somebody. There should be somebody that you should be able to talk to.
Right.
So even if you don't feel comfortable
Yes.
talking to me, this is safe zone. This is safe zone.
Right.
This is a safe person. You can talk to these people if you can't come to me. But talk to somebody who's responsible.
Jessica comes from a blended family, and that was one of the things that you mentioned on another episode that we had, is that the blend, you allow the surrogate parents, as you say, to have their input, but then there's opportunities when you step in. As you transition into this blended family, how was that relationship cultivated where the other children were able and comfortable to come to you? And it just happened.
No, nothing happens overnight. And that whole situation was a struggle in the beginning.
She ain't my mammy. That telephone moment. She gonna give a flashback. I'm sorry, it's me. It's me.
Exactly.
Like, home.
When I met my husband, his daughter was 2 or 3. I remember her coming over every other weekend or every weekend for a while there, and it would be a situation where it's like she hated me. I could not sit next to him. I could not touch him.
Right.
And
That's his.
Yes.
That's her daddy.
but on the flip side of that, as time went on and as she and I developed a relationship, and part of that was me taking her, let's go
Do
something. Let me take you to get your hair done because I'm getting mine done. Let's have this one-on-one time where you can talk to me. I'm not your mother. I'm not trying to replace her. I'm not trying to be her. But me and your father are together, and I'm going to be here. So we might as well get along because this is going to be a long ride if we don't.
Right.
So
I ain't going nowhere.
Right. I mean, and it just took time. And it was a situation where she actually came to live with us a few times. And I think in being with her full time, 100%, we did develop a relationship where even now sometimes I think she'll come to me before she'll go to him, just because that's just the relationship we built. And it's sometimes her and her mother have issues and they bump heads, and she will come to me and have a conversation, and I try and get her back on the straight and narrow. I'm like, okay, you're losing focus. All this stuff going on around you, you have to ignore that and just see what it is that you want for yourself and now your son, and press forward to that. Nobody has to give you anything. You have to make everything what it is now, especially number one, because you're a woman. You're also an African-American woman. And now you are an 18-year-old with a child. So you have all these stigmas that's attacking you, and you can't just give in to it. You have to press through it and show everybody that just because of these things, these obstacles, I am still somebody.
Right. She is still greatness under
Exactly.
no stipulation.
That's right.
Right.
You know what's awesome about that whole thing you just played out? What we have a lot of nowadays is parents wanting to be their kid's best friend. And especially social media, I think, has just made it worse. And I find that the kids respect you more when you give them structure.
Right.
And then you can still have that conversation with them like they're somebody. You know, folks tease me because I talk to kids, even from tiny, like they're full-grown adults.
Right.
You know?
Right.
Having those level of conversations and not trying to make this fake friend thing happen, she's gonna really respect you for that. She probably already does. And a
And it
lot
will
of folks
teach
lose
her how to
respect.
even be a better parent.
Exactly.
Right.
Especially now if she's a young mom. You know,
Because you'll have a lot of friends, but you're only gonna have one dad or one mom.
that's
Right.
That's
so.
I used to tell my kids, I'm your only friend. Me. You don't want me to have friends? Those are not your friends. You're going to learn it, but you're going to learn it the hard way. And in the end, I'm still going to be here. I'm your only friend.
Got them scared.
I didn't scare them. I just told them the truth.
My dad used to take our pictures to formation. We were military family, and he would take our pictures of formation and pass it around. And he was like, these are my daughters. If they ask you what time of day it is, you tell your daddy by a watch. Don't talk to them. Don't speak to them. We had poor self-esteem. Like, we would get as flossy as we could, and literally heads would look everywhere, every bird in the sky, every crack in the sidewalk. Nobody would look to us.
Wow.
And one of our military brothers, you know, he joined the military when my dad was a drill sergeant, and kind of just stayed under my dad. So one day, Proctor, he was like, you know why nobody ever talked to y'all? We was like, no, why? He was like, your dad used to bring your pictures to formation and tell everybody not to talk to you. I was like, you lying. And by now, I'm in my 20s. I was like, Dad, Proctor said, he was like, yeah, I absolutely did that.
Wow.
So I was like,
We might be related.
suffer from self-esteem issues thinking I was a troll doll, and you just threatened the lives of these people to not talk to me?
Yeah, we might be related. My dad used to pull a knife on people when they go, what do you want with my daughter? And then people go back to school and be like, don't talk to them Hasty girls. They're crazy.
Right.
So,
None of that.
Oh, wow.
Wow. Well, I was your dad's worst nightmare.
Yeah.
Yeah. I got busted with a curling iron and a blow dryer in my locker in basic training.
Ooh.
I was Princess. I was Private Hollywood.
Private Hollywood.
Yes.
You was a combat diva.
Army Reserves, 10.5 years. but
GI
I did-
Barbie.
Yeah, pretty much. So, yeah, he
defending
couldn't.
the country. I feel safe.
Watch it now, I'm a great shot.
I know, right? That's the whole point. Like, I'm not gonna run after you. I'm just saying.
Don't play with me.
Right. Damn.
But yeah, my name was G.D. Blackwood throughout basic. the entire time because I pissed off my drill sergeant so bad. But yeah, so talking about getting your mind right, or people playing with your head and you rising above it. That's
right
military.
Because that's military.
That's military.
They
100%.
brainwash you.
Yep.
Yeah, break it down and build you back up
You
like
fight
that.
it. Fight it with everything in you. Fight it.
Yeah.
Good luck with that.
You owned by the military.
Yep.
Property of.
Got my
That's
DD
right.
214. I'm good.
That's right.
Honorable discharge.
Well, family, we are sitting here with the Combat Diva, the Alchemist, and the All-Star Body Shellacker. And First Morning P. So don't go anywhere.
Dear Lord.
So don't go anywhere. You are tuned in to the Profit and Growth Hour here on Wdrbmedia Media,
The
voice of the community. I got tongue tied. Wdrbmedia. Hey, he'll reset. Don't press that cable
You're
down into
pinching the
thing.
cable.
It'll make